Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Let's make sure we get all of our channels connected and we about to get into this thing. Let's get NC on here. NC is always the last one to get live. Let's go. I think we are we there? Are we there? Boom, we're back. We're back in that thing better than ever. Welcome back, game changers. Welcome back, go getters. Welcome back, hustlers. Welcome back, mid level professionals. Welcome back, entrepreneurs. Welcome back, corporate executives. Welcome back to, listen, we're building $1 million business and we're doing this thing in public. All right. We're already episode 51. Can y'all believe that? Episode 51? We've been super consistent, extremely consistent. And so if we keep our pacing, we're definitely going to hit over 200 plus episodes, right? So we're building $1 million business and we're doing it in public. As always, I'm your host. I'm Patrick Hart, known as that healthcare guy across social channels. Listen, Army executive, Army veteran, spent 6 years in the military, 2 tours overseas, one during 9/11. Eventually, pivoted from that, found multiple different industries. I later found healthcare, spent over 15 years in healthcare, rose through the ranks, became a healthcare technology executive, was part of an executive team that steered a growing technology company to, man, a $750 million technology exit in 2018. That changed my life, but it also changed the impact that I wanted to make. Too many times I seen people who I passed that I felt that should have been in the room with me. And it was so eye-opening that, okay, you see your check-ins and savings, it's making sense after you have a successful exit. But then you look at all the other people who contributed to the growth of that technology acquisition, but they wasn't in the room. Their checking and savings didn't change the same way. And it made me realize something. Not two people, you can do the same job, but that doesn't mean you're going to earn influence or the type of income that you feel like you're valued at. You have to take control of your life and put yourself in these rooms so you can have that impact and influence as well. So in 2018, that happened. In 2023, I decided I wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur, right? So I started paying myself. By 2026, I was like, you know what? It's cool that I'm doing this, but what if I see you, Young Styles 326, and I see my TikTok family coming in as well. But, I decided, I was like, okay, well, what if I can build something in public? Here's the thing. We understand social media with the age that we are. We're in the attention economy right now, right? So a lot of people, you want to put yourselves out there, but a lot of people think the goal for themselves is to go viral, and then that's where the money's going to come from. That's not the case. Virality without structure, systems, and automations in place is not going to do anything for you. You're going to get attention, but no influence, and then no income. And then I see a lot of people out here, they're building their business and they understand the basic thing that they need to be visible in order for themselves and their business to grow. But what happens is they're creating visibility with no real framework behind their visibility. And then they get stuck, they get burned out, and then they're ready to pivot altogether. They're like, you know what? This game is not fair. The algorithm changes on me. This is not for me, blah, blah, blah. You hear it before. Maybe it's happened to you in your business. I remember starting it out. It happened to me as well. So I decided to do something about it. In 2026, we're building in public, right? We're building in public. I'm tired of watching, all these creators, these influencers, they have that clickbait. They say, oh, I grew from 0 to 100,000 followers and I did it in 6 months. Or I grew my business to $1 million in revenue and I did it in 2 years, but nobody ever gives you the framework or the playbook to get there, right? That's clickbait, family. What I do here is actually build this thing in public. I share with you the conversations I'm having behind the scenes. I share with you the frameworks that I'm putting in place. I share with you the automations that are working behind the scenes. I share with you the structure. You even help me influence the direction that I go by hitting me up in my DMs after the fact. You guys give me insight and comments that leads to every single additional episode. So we're building this thing in public, right? I want to show you how you too can turn your influence, your skill levels, all into $1 million framework as well as a playbook. So that's my intro. I'm Patrick Hart, episode 51. Today we're going to be talking about influence changes everything. So what does that mean? We're going to get into this. Before we get into today's agenda, I wanted to let everybody know today we're going to be streaming across Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, as well as I already said YouTube. Basically, we have all our family in one place, right? Here's the thing. We got 2 goals this year. The first goal is actually generate $1 million in revenue. The second goal is to build a 50,000 subscriber eco base within the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, this is your chance to do that right now. I have links in the bio. I got QR codes. I got floating banner. Just depends on where you're streaming from. or you can simply type in newsletter. I'll make sure you get the personal invite so you too can join me on the inside for the newsletter. The newsletter is where you get some more insight, some of those frameworks, some more conversations, some more tools that you too can personally implement in your business. So if this is of interest to you, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. We're growing that baby to 50,000. Here's why that's important for you and not just me. Because if you're relying on social media, period, for your visibility and exposure for yourself and or your business, you may be in for a rude awakening because we know these algorithms often change, right? That happens quite a bit. But once you build your own ecosystem, this is why it's so important. Once you build your own ecosystem of influence and trust, those people rock with you. So no matter what happens to the algorithm, no matter what happens to, these platforms, whether they go under, they expand, whatever, as long as you have your ecosystem, those people can pivot and move with you as you begin to grow. So I encourage you to create your own ecosystem. And the other thing too is sign up for mine if you haven't signed up for it. So I'm 6 minutes in, so it's a great opening. Episode 51, influence changes everything. So if y'all been knowing, every single episode is designed to do one thing: give you some more insight, some more framework, some more structure, just to make you 1% better so you too can build your $1 million framework. You can also copy mine. I created a playlist in YouTube or on LinkedIn. It's called Building $1 Million Business. So if you go to YouTube, there's a playlist for that. There's the same thing with this one, episode 51. I upload that as well. Every single episode is 30 minutes or less. They're free right now. I would encourage you to check those out before those disappear. Right now, they're absolutely free. At some point, they may be taken down or created into a course so I can monetize that as well. So hit that up. I see the real Sosa 36. I appreciate you tapping in, family. I see my TikTok family coming in here as well. Remember, I got multiple screens right here. Let me see what other comments. Make sure I got my comment chat box open. Okay, yeah, I got multiple screens right here. So I can see the chats that's coming in, but I can't see my face. All right. So if I ever get zoomed in on, family, y'all say something, say, hey, Pat, you're zoomed in. Zoom back out. Let me know. But comment sections are open. I see Rob Dunn, YouTube. I see you, family. I see you, Divvy, Sweetie, 25 on Instagram. I see all my TikTok family right there. So many different names right there. But hey, thank you guys for joining. And then my LinkedIn family always shows up for me. So hey, welcome. Let's get into it. Episode 51. Influence changes everything. Listen. Influence sounds powerful, right? It sounds so freaking awesome. It looks like that's the goal that we have for ourselves. We want to influence, right? It feels like that's the win that we're after. That's not. I'm just going to simply say that that's not. Maybe that's for you, but it's not, because influence comes with pressure. It's the moment where people, they just stop just listening to you and they start moving based off of what you say, right? That shift right there, and that's a real shift. That's where most people lose control over what they say and how they say it. They want attention. Most people want attention. At least you think you want attention because you think, man, if I get attention, that's going to lead to money, right? That's what a lot of people think. So you want attention, you built the trust. Now people are watching you differently, right? Because now you've consistently been putting yourself out there. And now they're not just asking, is this interesting? They start asking, should I follow this advice? Should I follow this insight? That's a different level of influence for a lot of people. A lot of people are not ready for that. So here's the message, family. Influence is not about being heard. You're like, what? What are you talking about? Influence is not about being heard. Influence is about being responsible for what people do next, right? And if you're not ready for that, influence will expose you, family. And this is why a lot of people get out of the game of building their own personal wealth system, because they get exposed. They don't know what to do next. So here's my promise, all right? My promise in this episode, we're going to get into something that doesn't get talked about enough. What is it? What are we going to talk about? What it actually means to have influence and how to handle it without losing yourself in the process. All right. So we built this thing step by step. I see you funny, Nana. Thank you for tapping in. We built this thing step by step. Attention got people in the room. Attention gets us people subscribed to our newsletter. All of that has been going great. Momentum keeps things going. Expectations have raised the standard for us. People, they trust. Trust make people believe more and more. Now we're here. We're in that point now where it's all about influence. So let's talk about it. So by the end of this, you're going to understand why influence is where most people start to drift. You're going to understand how people change once they begin to trust you. And then we're going to understand the discipline it takes to lead without folding under pressure. So here's what I had to learn the hard way. Influence, it doesn't just amplify your message, it also amplifies your habits. This is where a lot of people get stuck. Oh, we're about to get into it. Oh, it's about to get good. Family, drop your first name, what platform you're streaming from. I'll make sure to say hi and thank you. Here's the other thing, too. If this is your first time here, thank you for coming. You know, I appreciate this. What are we doing? We're building $1 million business, and we're doing it in public. Every single episode is designed to give you some insights, some structures, some frameworks, or some tools that you too can either follow, you can duplicate, the mimic, to build. I see you, Jeanette Sanchez, to build your $1 million playbook as well. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I appreciate you, family. Listen, I can only do this with you, rocking with me. So if you know like-minded individuals like yourself who are interested in building their $1 million wealth system, who are interested in gaining that bag, you're in the right place. Invite them. I do this every single day, Monday through Friday, noon Central Standard Time. Every single episode is only 30 minutes long. And I guarantee you one thing, you're going to find some insight that you too can install or implement in your business to get to your $1 million bag as well. So let's get into this. There's a reality that you need to face. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? People think influence is about scale, right? More followers, more views, more reach. That's off surface level, family. Like, yeah, that's cool, but that's surface level. Real influence shows up in behavior. What? What are we talking about? When people start, this is when it shows up. When people start taking your advice, that's influence. When people start repeating your words, that's influence. When people start making decisions based off of your perspective, that's influence, family. That's what I'm talking about here. And this is where things get real for a lot of people. Now your content isn't just content. A lot of people say, okay, I want to get into the game. I want to create my visibility. I want to create content. And content is not just content once you gain influence. It starts becoming direction. And a lot of people miss that right there. That means every time that you speak, you're either leading people forward or you're leading them wrong. There's no neutral ground. There's no neutral ground in that, family. That realization for me, it changed how I move everything. Like I stopped chasing for reactions, right? And then you start thinking about impact. That's what I'm all about, that impact. You stop asking, will this go viral, right? And then you start asking, is this right? Is this the right message? Is this the right approach? A lot of people never make that shift. They keep performing. They keep performing. They keep performing. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. And the moment the influence actually shows up, they start saying what people want to hear. That's different. This is where the drift begins. You build trust one way, then you lose it trying to maintain attention. Let me pause there because I don't think that really set in to what I just said right there. The moment influence shows up, people stop or start saying what they want other people to hear. Instead of sticking to your own personal message, you begin to drift away from, I guess, what you was creating content for is in to begin with, right? We understand trust is built one way. And then what happens is you start performing for the analytics. You start performing for the algorithm. And you totally miss what your message or your purpose was. Remember, you're creating a business. You're building a lifestyle for yourself. That right there is what we need to lean into. We're not performing for the analytics. We're not performing for anybody. Look at me. If y'all follow me, man, I stick to what I taught you, right? I don't get concerned about how many people are following me. I'm not getting concerned about how many comments that people are leaving on my post. That's not the thing. My thing is impact. My impact is going to reach the right person that needs to be reached during that time. And then what happens, your audience, they begin to grow with you based off of the message that you're putting out there. Just like me here, I'm building $1 million business and I'm doing it in public. Since I've been doing this, you know how many people have slid in my DMs? They're looking for advice. They're looking for coaching. They're looking for frameworks and structure. So with that being said, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't. I'm growing that baby to 50,000 members. We got over 6,000 plus. That continues to grow. We have a little bit less than 10 months to get there. Let's say 9.5 months to get to our 50,000. If you haven't signed up for that, go ahead and do that. And the other thing too, join me here every single day, Monday through Friday, noon Central Standard Time, where I break down one simple thing every single day so you too can get to your $1 million bag. All right. So I noticed something about pressure. What do we notice? What do we notice? What do we notice? What do we notice? Influence comes with expectations that you didn't ask for. And this is where a lot of people are not prepared for. Influence comes with expectations that maybe you didn't ask for. People started projecting onto you, right? They see results and they assume that you have all the answers. Remember this, we're creating content and visibility for our business. Once you start doing it, people start rocking with you. They start leaning with you. They start taking advice from you. They start repeating you. All those things happen. So you start building influence, right? And then people start seeing the results, and then they assume that you have all the answers. That they hear the confidence, and then they assume that you don't struggle. They assume just because you're visible that you don't struggle, just because you got a handful of followers that you have it all figured out. And then they watch consistently and assume that it's easy for you. Why is it easy for you? Oh, he's got the smile, he's got the look, or he's articulate, or he's got the right messaging, or blah 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 blah, right? People make all these excuses for why they themselves can't accomplish or achieve similar results of other people, right? Maybe this is you. I'm not calling anybody out. I've been there, done that. But I'm sharing with you the insights, the frameworks, the conversations, the self-doubts, the beliefs, the things that work, the things that doesn't work while I'm growing this thing in public, right? So people they watch it consistently and they think it's easy for you. That's not the case, family. That's not real. But it creates pressure to maintain an image. And that's a trap. Why am I sharing this with you? Because you too, you're going to follow a similar playbook. You too are going to begin to develop framework, structure, visibility for yourself. And people are going to begin to rock with you. But what that creates is this pressure, because now when people start commenting, they start encouraging you, they start sliding in your DMs. Now you think you need to perform for the algorithm. You think you need to perform for the audience. You get sidetracked from why you were building to begin with. For me, I'm building for the impact, like the impact and influence. I want to impact so many other like-minded individuals, so many people who look like me, so many people who believe in accomplishing something bigger for their lives, right? This is the place to do this. I'm not backing away from influence or impact. I'm leaning into that. My message doesn't change just because I get a handful of people that comment in my DMs or hit me up after the fact, because I'm purpose led, right? And this is what we need to be focused on too when you're creating your own business. So that's a trap. You start thinking, man, I have to keep showing up a certain way, or I can't say the wrong thing, or I can't lose momentum. All these things begin to play in the way you present yourself or create your content. And that's how people lose themselves when you too are building your $1 million business. Let me pause here and say something. Family, thank y'all for coming in. I see more and more people coming in. I got my family on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. And I think that's everybody. So if you're first time here, thank you. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Today is episode 51, and we're talking about influence, how influence changes everything. A lot of people want it, but they're not quite ready for it. So this is also something, when you're building something out, a lot of the things that you're building yourself up. And when you're building yourself up, you're building up your tolerance, you're building up your framework, you're building up your systems, you're building up your structure. So when you get that virality, when you get all these people sliding in your DMs, when you get people wanting to partner with you, you already have the structure in place where you can actually absorb what's coming your way, you can accept it, and then you can move forward with grace and with accountability, right? So they go from being real to being calculated. I've seen this so many times, man. I talk to people behind the scenes. You go from being real, like I'm being real right now, to being super calculated. You go from being aligned to being approved. Here's what I realized. If your influence is built on perfection, right, you'll spend all of your time trying to protect it. And this is where a lot of people, they lose themselves. If your influence is built on trust, that's something that you can stand on, family. True, real talk. That's a different kind of freedom right there. All right. So let me show you the adjustment that I had to make. All right. Let me get a sip of water while more and more people coming in here. All right. I think I'm good on that. I'm good. All right. So TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, basically everybody's here. Everybody's here, family. Drop your first name, what platform you're streaming from. I'll make sure to say thank you and hi. I'm not going to be a stranger. I appreciate the support. I appreciate people rocking with me. All right. So let me show you the adjustment I had to make. Like, I had to tighten up how I moved. What are you talking about, Pat? What do you mean? Like, For me, it wasn't about being louder. I wasn't trying to be louder, not more polished, even though I feel like in some situations I'm polished, but it's not about, for me, it's not about being polished, but just more discipline, right? Three things changed for me. What changed? Ownership is one, awareness is two, and then restraint is the third one. Ownership means I stand on what I say. That's important. I put it out there and I'm accountable for it, right? So that's standing on business. But when you sit, man, y'all follow some people, they say some stuff, but they don't really mean it. They just say it for the camera, but they don't actually do that behind the scenes. That's different for me. Ownership means I stand on what I say, right? So maybe you can duplicate this as well. If you put it out there, you have to be accountable for it. No backtracking, no switching up when it's convenient, right? Or when the algorithms shift like that. Awareness means I understand people and I'm listening differently now, right? That's where awareness comes into place. A lot of people, you start creating stuff, but you're not aware of either the impact that you're making or even why you're doing it or how this makes sense for your business, right? So awareness is going to be so important. They're not just consuming, they're applying. A lot of people are applying exactly the frameworks, the conversations, and the systems that I share on these lives, and they duplicate it behind the scenes as well. So that changes how I communicate, right? I want to make things clear. That's important. I remove the fluff from, when I come here on camera, the fluff is removed. I'm going to talk to you straight, just like, I'm talking to my brother, which my brother happens to be on these lives all the time. So I appreciate my brother coming in, right? And I say exactly what I mean. This is going to be important for me. Restraint is the hardest one, just because you can speak on something, right? But it doesn't mean you should. We're talking about restraint here. And this is where a lot of people, they get sidetracked from what they're doing. You can speak on something, but it doesn't mean you should. Influence gives you access to people's decision, and you have to respect that. I see you as that chef step. I couldn't get the last part of it, but anyway, thank you for popping in, family, right? Influence gives you access to people's decision, and you have to respect that. Everything doesn't need your opinion, family. Real talk. A lot of us, we think we need to drop our opinion on this, that, or the other. Stay in your lane. Do what the hell you do and do it well, right? Remember, you're building influence for your brand. You're building influence for your business. You're just building influence in general. It doesn't mean you need to comment on everybody's crap, everybody's shit, right? Everything doesn't need your take. That discipline, it protects your credibility. Here's a trap right here, too. I'm going to share this one right here. This is not even scripted, but here's a trap right here. A lot of people, especially that look like me, let's talk about, our Black professionals out there, whether you're man or woman, whatever you identify as, right? There's a lot of issues that impact us culturally. Culturally, this is off script, that impact us culturally. Remember, we're building impact and influence, right? And we're sticking to our lane. But there's so many people, they create amazing content that's geared towards speaking on cultural issues. Just because you built influence doesn't mean it's your place to tap in and start commenting on a lane that you don't never really tap in on to begin with. So now you're tapping in on cultural influences thing, but that's not even your lane. And we tend to want to do that because we're sticking together because we look alike. Listen, family, that's not even your lane. You're getting away from your bag. You see what I'm saying? This is what I mean. When you build influence, sometimes just stay in your lane. Just because you have influence doesn't mean I need to comment and give my take on this, that, or the other. And we get this wrong. And once you get that wrong, then you lose credibility, you lose trust, and you lose the impact that you was trying to build. I'll pause there because I might have stepped on some people's toes, and maybe there's some people disagree with me, and you feel like you need to comment on everything. If that's you, you may have forgotten why you even began the thing that you began. For you, you may be looking to build a freedom system for yourself. You're trying to escape the 9 to 5. Maybe you're trying to build generational wealth for yourself. Maybe you're trying to do some stuff that you've seen nobody in your circle of influence do before, right? And that takes discipline for you to stay focused on that thing that you want to do and do it well, right? We're not stretching ourselves thin by commenting on other people's crap, right? So let me land this plane. I think I got 5 minutes. So let's talk about, here's what this build is showing me. What is it showing you, Patrick? Remember, I'm building this thing in public. I'm building $1 million business. I'm doing it in public. I'm sharing the insights, the frameworks, the structure, the conversations, even how much I'm spending. And I'm sharing that with you. And I do it here every single day, noon Central Standard Time, the 30 minutes episodes. So make sure you join me for tomorrow and the rest of this week as well. And then invite other like-minded individuals. So here's what's been building this thing in public and showing me. Attention gets you seen. We understand it, right? Trust gets you believed. Influence, though, what does influence get you? That's where people they start moving with you, right? That's when the thing that you're doing, the thing that you're building, it becomes real. Not just content, right? Not just content, not just growth. I'm talking about real impact. And impact comes with weight. This is where you have to get the reps. You have to not physically get in the gym, but I'm talking about put in the work. So when you do start getting that influence, right, for yourself and or your business, your messaging stays the same. You're not getting off course. You're not doing things that doesn't grow your brand, your awareness, or your income. We have to stay disciplined on the thing that we're doing well. Like we're building this $1 million business in public. Impact comes with the weight. A lot of people are not ready for the impact. You can build something meaningful here, right? Or you can lose everything trying to keep up with the noise, meaning becoming somebody different than what you are, saying some things that you don't normally say. That choice, it shows up every day in the way people see you. And here's where we're going to go next. Episode 52 is coming up, man. Can y'all believe that? 52 already. This is March 23rd. Let's say this. Man, if y'all had a nice spring break, welcome back. I hope y'all went somewhere amazing. Or if you just stayed at home and you relaxed, man, I hope you had some of the best relaxation and self-awareness that you was able to generate for yourself. Maybe you catch up on some R&R, or excuse me, some well-rested sleep. But in episode 52, we're going to get into decision making. And I'm not talking about like surface level decision making, not even motivational decision making. I'm talking about how to make the right moves when the pressure is high. Because remember, we're building a business. There's so many things that go with building a business. Outside of frameworks, outside of structure, when you're building something you've never built before, generally speaking, the thing that you're building more than anything is yourself. You're building yourself, right? So episode 52, we're going to be talking about when the pressure's high, the stakes are real, and people are watching you. What do you do next? What do you do next? How do you handle that? All right, I'll open it up for comments or any chats. I got a couple of minutes here. I'll stick around for about a minute and then I'll drop off, family. Let me say this because I see more and more people still joining. TikTok family, thank you. I appreciate y'all, family. Instagram family, thank you. I appreciate you. LinkedIn family, thank you. I appreciate you. YouTube family, thank you. I appreciate you. Facebook family, thank you. I appreciate you. Episode 52 was been about, what did we learn today? 51 was about influence and how influence changes everything. We'll be back tomorrow. Knock on wood. As long as I'm blessed to rise another day, to be here to share this message with you, I'll be back tomorrow as long as I have my health and strength for episode 52. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, this is a great chance to go ahead and sign up for the newsletter. We're growing at the 50,000. We're building $1 million ecosystem here, and we're doing it in 12 months. There's so many moves that we've already made. We've been sharing along the way on this build. Go back and check out those other episodes while they're free. I created a playlist on YouTube. It's called Building a $1 Million Business. If you're on LinkedIn, underneath my events tab, you can find the other previous 51 or 50 episodes as well. You want to watch those before those disappear. At some point, algorithms may change. They may disappear, or I may take them down just so I can monetize those as a course. But right now, I'm making those free for you just because I want you to continue to learn and grow with me as well. All right. So with that being said, thank you, family, for joining. This has been episode 51. This is Influence, how it changes everything. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, bright, smiling face. And till then, I see you, family. Much love.